This is officially my favorite flower of 2023. It is a miniature or a short zinnia. I need to look up what color it is, but hey baby. It blooms, most of them come out as a darker red color or a cranberry almost color, and then as they fade to like a mixed, oh my gosh, this guy, he's bumping into me. I'm sorry, I know he's jostling the camera. Kind of, all right, listen, let me talk, buddy. Yes. All right. And here I'm also in my own shadow. But you'll see it kind of blends into like a mix of a yellow and that red color, and then eventually goes into more yellow, and then eventually like a full yellow. There's also, do you see that bee? Sorry, I'm disturbing his breakfast or lunch, really, apparently. But yes, I love, this is one I haven't had to trim it. It just keeps kind of pushing out taller and taller growth. It's still a very good size, like just nice and short, compact. But I love it's one I don't have to trim. It doesn't have some of the powdery mildew type. A lot of my other zinnias by about sometime in September start to have like a powdery look to them, to the leaves, but this one hasn't had that problem. Now that could also be because this is in a very different location, but I really need to find out, and I'll look up to see, and I'll put it on the screen or in the description box if I can figure it out. But I am in love, and I want like 20 of these next year. If I can get my hands on maybe the seeds for this, I will definitely plant this as like a plant to tie in like all of my different beds that get enough sun for flowers. Just because it's one of those, like when we pull in the driveway, the location we drive right past, and I don't know, it just makes me happy just seeing the beautiful colors, the bright colors, but the variation that you get in this one plant. So yep, not much more I can say. I have barely watered this. This is I have it nicely mulched, but this particular spot is one of the few spots in the garden in my yard that does get really 100% full sun. This is south facing. The sun comes up in the east and over to the west, and there's really not a lot of tree coverage. I mean, maybe later afternoon, but really from early morning until a good portion of the afternoon, it gets full sun here. And yes, the only reason he's not jostling me is because I'm keeping him entertained. Where are you? Where's your head? There you are. My little guy. And then, while I'm at it, this is a lovely little yarrow I got. I don't know what color. It was in one of those, I think like destined to die bins at my local garden center. So I picked it up at a discount, but it looks like it has a little bit of like a lavender kind of color to it, but it hasn't bloomed a whole lot this summer. I actually thought it had more of a yellow, which is why I put it here. So I don't know why I thought it had a yellow color. And then I have my little black-eyed Susan vine back there, which I don't know, I might need to pull them out. I definitely can tell that they will turn invasive. Now they're pretty, and they're a nice vine and the bees like them, but I can definitely tell. I had planted them over there last summer, and there's lots of little ones popping up along, and we already have enough invasive vines. So I don't know if I'm gonna rip them all out this year and try and keep them from going to seed. Well, I'll probably just try and keep them from going to seed as much as possible, but I'll have to decide long term what my plan is there. What else do we have? We have the banana palms, whatever they're called. I don't know. Someone gave them to my husband. He loves palm trees, so that's his little happy tree. We started with 2 little tiny ones last year, and we already have 2 huge ones and a few others already popping up around it. My little basil, not looking too pretty, but that's okay. It smells good. My sage, this is the second flower of the season. I love sage. Oh, and there's a blanket flower. Do you see the orange flower, like the reddish orange with the yellow tips? right behind the sage right there. That's, I think, called blanket flower. The last life of my little peony, a bay. So that's bay leaves, little tree. We tucked, if you notice, the bay leaf, the banana palm. This is south facing, and with the brick wall there. It's pretty well protected. I would say the banana palm is the least, but last winter, I mean, we had a couple of 6-degree nights, and we just mounded it up really well with mulch, and it came back perfectly. That bay is protected. It's right on the edge of the house, so it doesn't get the wind coming in from the north, and it gets the first sun of the morning and then has the heat bouncing off of that wall. So I don't anticipate having too many problems with it. My little bee friend is back. Hello, little buddy. Yeah, so, oh, and that type of lavender, I think that's like Munstead lavender. I've tried it in this spot for years now, and they just don't do well. So I think I finally have to accept the fact that that variety in particular does not like, I mean, we have pretty heavy clay soil, but actually I think it dries out too much, interestingly enough. Because of the angle of this bed and the amount of sun it gets, it definitely dries out. And I am not a waterer. I water things a few times in the summer, but I don't really want plants that need a lot of water. I struggle to water my vegetable garden, let alone just flower beds. So some of what I buy and go through, it's kind of just testing out what can survive with the least amount of interaction, unless it's just a very, very special plant to me. But so far I don't have too many of them. Oh, and actually, here I will show another plant. This is Gomphrena. This is a strawberry Gomphrena, and oh, so I just love, I don't know, this was definitely a year for the red and yellow color variation. I don't know if you can really tell. I might need to do a separate one on this. It's starting to go to seed. Gosh, little guy. All right, whiskey. But yes, so I love this plant as well, and it's one that just also thrives in the hot summer, dry, when everything else is kind of looking sad. This, I keep wanting to call it Gaillardia. This Gomphrena definitely hangs in there so beautifully well.